My name is Daniel. I live in a small town called Hollow Creek next to a big forest. Everyone in town knows one rule. Never go into the forest after dark. Not because of animals, because of what comes out. 3 years ago, my brother Sam walked into that forest and never came back. The police searched for 2 weeks. They found nothing. No footprints, no blood, no sign of him at all. The forest just took him, like it took others before him. But 2 nights ago, something strange happened. My brother came back. I heard a knock on my door at midnight. When I opened it, Sam was standing there. He looked exactly the same as the day he disappeared. Same clothes, same haircut. Not older by even 1 day. I should have felt happy. Instead, my whole body went cold. "Sam," I said, "is that really you?" He smiled. "I'm home now, Daniel. I let him in because he was my brother and I missed him so much." But that night, I could not sleep. Something about his eyes felt wrong. They looked too calm, too still, like a doll's eyes painted to look alive. The next morning, my friend Ashley came to visit. She used to date Sam before he vanished. When she saw him sitting at my kitchen table, her face turned pale. "That is not Sam," she whispered to me outside. "What are you talking about? Of course it's him." "Daniel, look at his hands." Sam had a scar on his left palm from a fishing accident. I just shook his hand. "There is no scar." My heart began to race. I did not want to believe her, but deep inside I already knew something was very wrong. I called my Uncle Robert that afternoon. He is the oldest man in town and knows every old story about the forest. When I told him Sam had returned, he did not sound happy. He sounded afraid. "Daniel, listen to me carefully," he said. "This has happened before. People go missing in that forest, and sometimes they come back. But they are never the same person. The forest does not return people. It returns copies." "Copies? What does that mean?" "It means the forest studies you. It watches how you walk, how you talk, how you smile. Then it sends something wearing your face, but it always makes small mistakes. A missing scar, a forgotten memory, a strange smell like wet leaves and old soil." I thought about Sam sitting in my kitchen this morning. He did smell like wet leaves. "How do I know for sure?" I asked. "Ask him something only the real Sam would know, something private, something the forest could not have seen." That night, I sat across from Sam at the dinner table. Ashley sat beside me, watching him carefully. "Sam," I said, keeping my voice calm, "do you remember our fishing trip when we were 17? The one where you fell in the lake?" Sam laughed softly. "Of course, that was a great day." "What was the name of the dog we brought with us?" He paused, just for a second. But I saw it. A flicker of confusion behind his eyes, like he was searching for an answer that was not there. "Rusty," he finally said. "But we never had a dog named Rusty. We never brought any dog on that trip. It was just the 2 of us." Ashley grabbed my hand under the table and squeezed hard. We both understood. This was not my brother. I did not sleep that night. I lay awake listening to the creature that wore my brother's face, moving quietly through my house. Around 3 in the morning, I heard him walk outside. I looked through my window and saw him standing at the edge of the forest, staring into the darkness like he was waiting for permission to go back in. The next day I went to see Uncle Robert again. I needed answers. "The forest is old, Daniel. Older than this town. Older than the people who first built it," he explained. "Long ago, something lived in those trees. Something that learned to copy. At first it copied animals to hunt them. But animals were not enough. It wanted something smarter, something with memories and feelings. So it began taking people." "Why does it send them back?" "Because the copies are not perfect on the first try. It sends them into our world to learn more. Every time you talk to it, laugh with it, cry with it, the copy becomes a little more accurate. The forest is not finished making Sam. It is still practicing." The words made my skin crawl. Every conversation I had with the fake Sam was teaching the forest how to become a better version of him, a more convincing version. "There is one more thing," Robert added, his voice dropping low. "The real Sam might still be alive in there. The forest keeps the real ones. It needs them close by to keep copying correctly." Hope and fear mixed together in my chest. If Sam was still alive, I needed to find him. But going into that forest meant walking straight into the thing that made monsters wearing human faces. Ashley insisted on coming with me. I tried to stop her, but she refused to listen. "If your brother is really in there, I am not letting you go alone," she said. That evening, as the sun went down, the three of us, me, Ashley, and the creature pretending to be Sam, stood near the tree line. I had a plan. I would follow the fake Sam. He would lead me straight to the truth. Night fell, and the fake Sam walked toward the forest without saying a word. Ashley and I followed at a distance, staying hidden behind trees and bushes. The deeper we went, the quieter the world became. No birds, no wind, no sound except our own footsteps and our own breathing. After nearly an hour of walking, we reached a clearing unlike anything I had ever seen. The trees here did not look like trees anymore. Their bark had strange patterns, almost like skin. Long, thin branches hung down, moving slightly even though there was no wind. In the center of the clearing, I saw shapes lying on the ground. Human shapes. Some moved slightly, some did not move at all. My heart nearly stopped. One of them was Sam, the real Sam. His eyes were open but empty, like he was sleeping while awake. Vines wrapped gently around his arms and legs, connecting him to the trees like he was part of the forest itself. "Sam!" I whispered, rushing toward him. Ashley grabbed my arm. "Wait, look." The fake Sam, the copy, was standing right beside the real one. And as I watched in horror, the copy began to change. His skin rippled like water. For one terrible second, his face was not human at all. It was something dark and twisted, with too many shadows where a mouth should be. Then it settled back into Sam's familiar face. "You should not have come here," the copy said, its voice sounding like Sam's voice mixed with something older and colder underneath. "Give him back," I said, trying to sound brave even though my legs were shaking. "He belongs to the forest now. He helps us understand you, understand all of you. Soon there will be no difference between the copy and the real thing." The vines around Sam's body tightened slightly, like the forest itself was listening and reacting to our conversation. Ashley stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear on her face. "The stories say the forest can only keep a person if it has something to trade. That is how the old deals worked, a trade for a trade." I did not know if that was true, but it gave me an idea. "I will stay," I said suddenly. "Let Sam go and I will take his place." The fake Sam tilted his head, studying me with those calm, unnatural eyes. "You would give yourself for him? He has a whole life waiting. A family. I do not have much waiting for me except this town and old memories." It was not entirely true, but I needed the forest to believe it. Ashley grabbed my sleeve. "Daniel, no!" "Trust me," I whispered to her. The copy considered this for a long moment. Then the vines around Sam slowly loosened and pulled away. He gasped, blinking rapidly like someone waking from a deep sleep. "Daniel," he said weakly, "what is happening?" Before the forest could change its mind, I grabbed a sharp rock from the ground and drove it into the trunk of the nearest twisted tree. Dark liquid oozed out, and the entire clearing shook violently. The vines let go of everyone at once, and every sleeping body on the ground gasped awake. The forest had made a mistake trusting a trade with a human. We were not as predictable as it thought. "Run!" I screamed. We all ran together, Sam stumbling but alive, Ashley pulling him along, me right behind them. Branches reached out to grab us as we ran, but we pushed through, cutting our arms and faces on the sharp, twisted wood. Finally, the trees opened up, and we burst out into the open field near town, gasping for breath under the moonlight. Behind us, the fake Sam stood at the edge of the trees, watching silently. It did not follow. It simply faded backward into the darkness, becoming one with the shadows again. Sam was shaking, confused, and exhausted, but alive, real, whole. We never went back into that forest again. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear something moving near the tree line outside my window. And sometimes I wonder if the thing that walked out with us that night was truly my brother. Or if the forest is still practicing, still learning, still waiting for its next perfect copy.